So guys, this is Urine Therapy Training Course number 12, class number 3, with our students from Australia and Oregon that are joining us. We're about to do the communion. So if anybody who watches the recording of this, go grab your golden water. And I know it'll be recording, but they can do communion. Would anybody like to offer a prayer? I was asking you, always give me the same answer.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll make something up. We see before us the water of life, the nectar of immortality, the blood of the Lord Shiva, the golden water that was given to us as a holy way, or a way that we can heal ourselves and we can be happy again without having to struggle with illness and a compromised immune system. So we give thanks for this teaching, and we give thanks for an understanding that will carry us through life so we can have a lifestyle that works. Amen. Cheers.
Amen. Cheers.
20 minutes ago. Good stuff. So sometimes I cover it and sometimes I just leave it open so it helps the room. Any questions from last class? Anything that you can remember from last class that you would like to share with Daniel and myself?
Oh, me?
Or anything you are not clear on, or any questions that came up for you since yesterday?
I listened again to it, and I had lots of conversations yesterday with friends. But at this particular moment, I'm blank.
Blank is good.
Well, it's very early.
All right. Name one of 6 of the Shivambu wisdoms. You're eventually going to learn this. I know you.
I know. I was actually going to write that down and put it up, so I do remember it. I know it, but I just.
It's number 1. It's an intuitive medicine.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Number 2. It works regardless of what you think about it.
Yeah.
Kind of like love. Number 3. It transforms, alchemizes, sterilizes, neutralizes anything it touches, including our consciousness and our emotions. Number 4. Doesn't matter which gender, which species you use, it works. Saturation dosing is a way to get a maximum amount of nutrition in your bloodstream so your cells can regenerate faster and toxins can pour out quicker. It's an evolving or an evolutionary water, some call aging. And let's see, the only thing you cannot heal is what you say you cannot heal. And it's in a category all to itself. Did I get it all? All right, so any questions, any concerns, any protocols, any wisdoms? Okay, let's get to the book. We've got 2 3/4 of an hour. We're going to start on page 111. You still have the book in the mail, right? I'm just going to briefly talk about evolving urine. We lost Daniel. What does that mean? Keep your phone nearby. Hold on. I've got to unairplane the phone because he might decide to come another direction. He's pulling a Daniel. Don't do this. Oh, you just got to love everybody who shows up in your life. Okay. Keep in mind that Urine contains information and he's back. Better than ever. And Daniel Lapie has joined us once again. 3, okay, so he's going to mute his camera or not, I don't know. So basically, the body becomes challenged. If the body becomes challenged or compromised, it does a systems check or self-diagnostic to restore perfect health and balance. This is what the body's constantly trying to do. Get back into homeostasis, get back into balance, and regenerate cells. Your body knows what perfection is, and our mind tends to forget. So as we're going through constant adjustments and readjustments with our health, the more you can do to relax and avoid creating stress and urgency, the faster you'll heal. And the less you eat, the better you feel. It's ironic, we were pushed into food addiction.
Yeah.
You got to eat 3 times a day. You got to eat this much. You got to combine this and that and the other thing. And you wonder why people get bloating and gas and belching and farting and all that other stuff when they were believing they ate the right food.
And when you're sick, they always want you to eat. And that's something I had to really push myself out of a habit with the children. Oh, you've got to have something. You've got to have something in your stomach. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't it nice to know that you got away from that?
Yes, certainly.
Yep. Totally agree. Here's another paradigm shifting term to tickle your mind. The terms evolved and evolving have replaced the terms aged and aging, previously used in describing maturing Orin. Evolution by its nature is a continuum of growing, learning, and making discoveries. Orin, like humanity, evolves forever from the moment it arrives and it is collected. Evolution, described by Webster's dictionary, is a process of gradual, peaceful, progressive change or development. Do the words aged and aging bring comfort to your mind or make you feel uneasy in your body when you hear that? Because we usually associate aged and aging with getting old, losing your power, losing your strength, getting sick, dying. So when any of the words, I'm going to skip over to another chapter in just a minute. Keep in mind that the English language wasn't necessarily designed to empower us.
Yes.
So a lot of the way we use our language is like we put a spell on us.
Mm-hmm.
So our job is to upgrade every thought that you were led to believe was true or was your thoughts. And so this is why I've been changing a lot of the words when I write and talk about urine therapy or Orin therapy, because we're building a new paradigm in which we're going to have a conversation with each other. So if any time when you're discussing the subject or it just comes to your mind that those words you don't resonate with old terms anymore, change them.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
Ouch.
Yes.
And you see the kids doing all the time, like the word understand. They changed it to understand.
Yes.
They're upgrading our language for us.
Don't stand under you.
Yes.
No.
So, page 113, I'm just going to introduce some of these people. On page 113 is a woman named Monica Shute.
Right.
And you've ever heard of her?
Yes.
Okay. She's like from Spain or South America because she's got a Spanish-English accent. And I think her and her husband are in Thailand right now. Last time I talked to her, she was in Ecuador. And she doesn't age. She's been doing urine therapy for 20-something years, 22 years. And every time you see her, she gets younger. And she's just like a playful, alive soul. And I always thought that Monica was our poster child for the water family movement.
I've not seen her. I've just read. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find her on YouTube or some of the social media platforms. So this article was about, she was one of the first to address the topic of evolving urine versus fresh urine.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to read that sometime, she gives her take on it. What Monica calls aged urine, she calls it maturing or developing. So everybody has a spin on it.
Right.
Shoot over to 116, if you will. Now there are things in our lifestyle or in this movement that polarizes people and sometimes creates controversy or division. And one of those things is boiling urine, not boiling urine. Right? So when I was over at Katie's this last 2 weeks ago, Chitta was with us and he was boiling his aged urine. And while he was doing that, he put some other things in it that made it magical. But the whole idea was to create a humidifier in the kitchen over the stove. So we would take our turns leaning over into it so all the fumes and the vapor would come and clean the sinuses.
Mm.
he boiled it and said, nobody wants to boil their Orin, but this is how you can create the steam. So that's going to be personal choice. Well, did I tell you about a gal out in UK, what she did with hers?
No.
She went by the Instagram name of, what name is she on? Chrissy? Oh, Pian. Pian was her name.
Pian.
Pian instead of Leanne. She was Pian. She took a 2-quart saucepan of boiling Orin out to the backyard, held it up, and she swears she got rid of chemtrails.
Oh, yes, yes. Yep. I have heard. Yeah.
I wanted a video. Anybody can say stuff. I want to see proof. So here's what the writing is from Monica. While some recommend it, I prefer to let Orin reduce its water content and get more concentrated in a natural way. It takes longer but does not harm the nutrients, the elements, the stem cells in it with extreme temperatures. I don't think that necessary to do to my living cells. So why would I do that to the living cells of my water? Reminder, Orin aging process requires time and patience. Using Orin at any stage of its aging or incubating is still more potent than fresh. It will take being patient and willing to wait longer with each batch of stored Orin, but you're worth it. You will be thankful you let Orin age for longer periods. So she goes on to explain she's been doing it 22 years, and the book came out in 2022, so she's up to 23 years now. No, this book came out in 2020, so she's up to 25 years. So we're going to turn to page 117. Are you comfortable with this pace I'm going this morning?
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you. So the question comes up for people, and they go, what is that white stuff at the bottom of my jar? Now there's none in this jar because this is really the good stuff. Eating a lot of fruit, and there's nothing at the bottom. But the stuff at the bottom that people look at it, and there's sediment, and there's little white, that's concentrated stem cells. Right? There's some antibodies in there, there's nutrients in there, there's white blood cells in there. And most people go, but it kind of looks like the kombucha starter mushroom at the bottom there. And that's all it is. It's actually beneficial nutrients. And you could stir the jar up and you can drink it, and you can still do protocols with it.
So it's good.
It is good. People are going to find all kinds of stuff in their water. They found things floating. They found things on the bottom. Some people swear they saw a parasite in there. I'm going, I have no idea about all that stuff. All I know is I wouldn't waste a drop. If you want to strain out things that don't look right, strain them out. But everybody has a different take on what they find in their water. Some are really dark brownish rust color, and some are really light, very real thin. So, and that's gonna reveal your diet. And so you can't lie about it.
No.
All right, 117, everybody. As Orin is evolving, there is usually a buildup of sediments at the bottom of the pea jar, in which particulates or crystals may appear. Metaphysical thinkers teach that this is really the renowned alchemical form of ormus, or white powder of gold. And do you know what that is?
No.
You've heard of Saint Germain?
No.
You've heard of alchemy?
Yes.
Okay, so the old alchemists, these were kind of like scientists back in the 1600s, and they had beakers, and they were pouring things back and forth, and they were boiling, they were testing, and all this stuff. They were transmuting base metals into gold through alchemical processes, and they discovered what they considered what the white powder of gold, or ormus gold, which was the predecessor of immortality, which you can find in your pee for free. So if those things show up, you go, oh, that's ormus. Just thought you may want to know that. It has been explained that the white powder formations that precipitated at the bottom of the container are white blood cells. Also encapsulated within these white cells, page 118, are stem cells, often the result of going off a raw vegan diet and eating cooked food and processed food. Cooked foods are notorious for causing acid conditions, dehydration, excess mucus, and I would include by inflammation. A friend of mine who's a dear friend, now gets Katie again, I keep bringing her up. She's determined for me to put on 30 pounds.
Okay.
Because I haven't really put a lot of stock into weight was important for me. And so people go, you're thin, don't look healthy, blah, blah, blah. So she has me eating this wild rice. I go, okay, fine, I'll eat some wild rice with my salad. And I start doing more green salads. And she says, well, it's the only alkaline rice, and all the other white rices on the planet are coming out of China and places made from plastic. They're not even real rice. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And so I would eat this. I go, okay, fine. I'm getting the energy. I'm still having bowel movements, blah, blah, blah. But I was spitting up mucus in the morning. I'm going, well, I love her and she can tell me that it's supposed to be nutritious, blah, blah, but the body doesn't lie. I'm still getting drippy nose. So, and every now and then I feel congestion in my throat. I know exactly where it came from. I know exactly how to heal it. So you got to learn to listen to your body.
Yeah.
Question, does the age stuff really have an odor? Answer, page 118. It only smells bad when the body and the diet are not cleaned properly and kept natural. Mine took a long time to get to a beautiful clean slate, and it happened after several short and long Orin fasts and months avoiding most cooked foods. This is Monica talking. I chose eating mostly fruits, everything 100% raw and natural foods from Mother Nature and in their natural state. Now, my Orin doesn't smell bad at all, and it doesn't acquire any bad or foul smell or taste afterwards when it's aging. I only need to make sure I'm eating 100% fruitarian or raw vegan. So with knowing that the Orin would be just perfect for you, look right, smell right, taste right, and all you had to do was keep a discipline of just eating this one narrow way of eating, which would be veganism or raw foodism, could you do that?
Yes, I've done it before.
And you're doing it now.
Yeah, I'm vegan. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's amazing how many people are still controlled by their food or their emotional back demands of food. What a change when you're no longer having to, sell out.
Yeah.
Any questions, Daniel? No. Okay. All right. Page 120, everybody.
Oh, I have a remark about Monica. She said how she did a urine bath. She put a tote in and put all the urine in there, and then she put she sat in there, and then she put the hot water on the outside in the bathtub to warm it up. So she can keep the urine separate.
Yeah. And was the thickness of the tub any factor to keep the urine warm or hot?
Yeah, she it worked well as like a hot tub, and you could make it a lot thicker and use it for other things afterwards.
Yep. Well, Monica also did this lovely video, which you can find on YouTube if you look for it, Donna, where she's in a hot tub. She's got a redwood tub in one of her last places where she lived, and she's in the aged, evolving Orin. And the only thing that stands that you could see outside of the tub is her knees, her feet, and her head. And because of the position of her body, she looks like a frog. But Orin bathing has begun. I'm going to read this here in a minute. It's gotten more and more popular thanks to the internet because people can see and get the visual. What does this look like? And people, I mean, I have it in different places. I posted people's golden water bath. And some people have fully filled it up, and some people have partly filled it up with hot water from their tub because it wasn't warm enough. So let's just read page 120. You want me to read again? Okay, I will. All right, here we go. Page 120. Collect a gallon or more of Urine and prepare a bath with as hot a water as you can relax into comfortably. This is just, if you only have a gallon, that'd be like the minimum. If you could get 5, 8, 10 gallons, you could do the whole bath. That's up to you. That's whatever you got stored for the use of it. Be prepared to stay in the tub for 30 minutes. Using another jar of Urine, rub the skin while in the bath. So you're multitasking. While you're laying in the water, you got a jar of your Urine and you're doing protocols. One thing I realized, I was over at Target looking at things for the retreat. So I was looking at gold washcloths and gold towels. And I noticed these cotton gloves for putting in something for therapy. And I thought, well, if you could just put in a washcloth and have it totally soaked in Urine, then you can do exfoliation on your face and on your skin. You can do what you normally do, you know, with city water and soap and stuff with just your Urine. This stuff is so powerful and so simple. You can just do anything. So here we go. Here's a simple way to knock out several protocols at once. Do this while filling up the bathtub. Be sure to bring some collected Urine in a container or some on the spot. You can make it on the spot. Stand in the bath water as the tub is filling up. Take the container of this water and start drinking, gargling, swishing, pulling, and swallowing. Pour some over each side of both of the eyes and into each ear. Do Urine nose drinking, either from a jar or palm of your hand, sniffing or snorting. Thoroughly massage or rub Urine into your hair, which I did this morning. I'm standing while the bath is filling up going, I don't really want to get in the city water. So I did as much as I could on my body first. And then I go, well, don't want to waste this lovely warm water. So you get in the water and you realize you just changed the structure of the water by what was on your body. Mm. So it's no longer the fear people would normally think of as, oh, it's filled with chlorine and fluoride and terrible stuff in your city water. A lot of people would avoid that. But if you change the water structure, the chemicals can't affect you. Thoroughly massage or rub it into your hair and scalp. Give yourself a good UT body rub all over the body as best that you can. Be sure to apply Urine to the navel and any skin conditions or wounds that could use healing. Then soak and meditate on bath water with any leftover Urine either poured over your head and shoulders or any method you can imagine. You can rinse off after taking a bath or leave it on and let it dry. That familiar pee smell evaporates quickly. So what Katie and some people do is they just leave the water in the bathtub for 3 or 4 days. Of course, it's not always in her bathtub because her dog plays in the water and pulls out the cork sometime. I can imagine you're taking a bath and your dog, you go to dry off and you leave the bathroom. The dog says, I'm taking over. Would your dog do that? Jump in the water?
She's too little to get into the bath at the moment. So
Oh, she is. But if the bathtub was lower?
Probably, okay.
She knows.
Yeah, it's mischief. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Page 121, skin conditions. The external application of Urine to the skin allows hormones and nutrients to be reabsorbed by the body without being destroyed. Massaging Urine is therefore an important complementary component of Urine therapy as it is directly absorbed into the tissues, plural. Urine is ideal for health since it detoxifies the body, strengthens the immune system, calms the nervous system, helps reduce weight by aiding digestion and elimination, reduces inflammation, cleans the urinary tract, reduces a headache if you drink 1 to 8 ounces or more first thing in the morning, or the onset of a headache, and healing other conditions that you will soon know. Have you ever had to deal with migraine headaches?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Was it before you were doing urine therapy?
Yes. Yeah. For years off and on. But I had one morning and I got involved, Urine, and rubbed it on the soles of my feet.
It worked.
Yes, it did.
Cool. The other tricks for getting rid of migraine headache is to drink or snort it up the nose and give yourself an Urine enema,
Mhm.
because that'll keep the toxins from being reabsorbed in the bloodstream and going to the brain.
Mhm.
As well as spraying it up the nose.
Spraying it up the nose will work as well. You can use one of those spray bottles. Urine is best known as a drink, but there are dozens of useful ways to use it in your daily life, which we're talking about right now, the protocols. It is also one of the most effective and natural ingredients for healthy skin-related problems. The liver, by the way, is the organ responsible for the health or lack of health of the skin and the eyes. Combining drinking pee with a topical application restores both liver and skin health. Urea, found in urine, is one of the main reasons why it is often as ingredients in a variety of creams, peels, lotions, either made at home or bought in a store. We had this talk, how they hide it in there, but it's really carbamide. That's the scientific name for urine, is carbamide. Did you ever heard of an eye product called Urine? These were eye drops that they were selling back in the like 70s and 80s, and they were supposed to help with red eyes and eye challenges. Let me type this in here. This is pretty interesting, how they hide things in plain sight. Urine, M-U-R-I-N-E. Boom. See that word right there?
Mhm.
Yeah. Divide M through the rest of the letters, and it's, what do you get?
Yes.
Yeah, not very clever, but yeah. A lot of the urine and the urea that they use in the cosmetic and beauty industry comes from pregnant mares, pregnant horses. And so in order to keep them producing, collecting their urine while they're pregnant, they force them to be pregnant after giving birth. They keep them pregnant. They keep them caged. It's very inhuman, or how do you say inhuman for horses? Not very respectful. And so it'd be nice if they changed that industry, but right now there's way too much money for them. So that's where they get a lot of the urea from. The other place they get it from is men's outhouses.
Yeah.
And that's why if you've ever gone to one of those outhouses, you'll see the stand-up area for the men and the seat. Well, I heard about this. I go, what's really true? So I'd be standing there using the stand-up part of it, looking inside the toilet, and none of it ever got in the toilet. It still had that blue color to it. So we discovered that they have a separate compartment that they store the urine from men.
Mm.
All right. Applying fresh urine on the skin before bedtime makes the face look healthier, page 123, and younger. Using a cotton ball, washcloth, hand, apply wee on your face. And in the morning, you will notice incredible results. Soon, you stop using facial creams or any natural facial products. Pee is a natural product that darkens, restores hair color, makes it thicker and shinier. Many people report that their hair looks better when they are better than when they were younger. This is from today.
Mm.
I may never know what gray hair is. I would love to live that kind of life. All my friends have gray hair. You know, people in their 30s that have silver hair.
Yeah.
And that's that is a mineral deficiency. Okay, to do this, massage urine thoroughly into your hair. This trick will have a greater effect, and it'll apply to your hair shortly before going into the intense sunlight. Leave it on as long as possible before washing your hair. UT is a wonderful remedy for facial skin problems like blackheads, dark spots, pigment spots, dry to cracked skin, acne, or capillary bursts. Dabbing urine with a soaked cotton ball, washcloth, or hand heals skin problems. Now, the word cure, the word heal, the term cure used to be owned by the medical industry.
Oh.
They want to tell you, you can't say it cures you because they can't sell you anything. So one of the guys who's a strong advocate in the water family is a friend of mine, Doc Mike Whitthorne. He was living in Chicago at the time. He's been doing urine therapy about 22 years. He decided to, what's the word? He took to court, how does he do this? he challenged the state of Illinois that he could say cure and heal. He challenged the medical industry, basically. So after, I don't know how long the court proceedings were, it was several months, cost him $1 million or more in attorney fees. He won the case, which set a precedent for our country that we can say urine heals things.
It's unbelievable.
It is, and it's amazing. But I'm still a little sensitive about who I'm talking to. So if somebody says, well, will it heal this? Will it heal that? I'll find a way to answer that without claiming that it does. Even if it does. And Daniel says, wonderful. Yeah, nice. Thank you, Daniel. All right. Bottom of page 123, simply apply a little bit of it, and that's enough. Apply directly to the affected area, leave it on for 10 minutes. Then wash with water or leave it to dry. No residue or odor will remain. Reminder, applying Urine on the face or any skin surface still delivers the vital nutrients from the tissues to the bloodstream. Anywhere you apply it on the body or drink it delivers nutrients everywhere in the body. This one guy says whenever he goes to the men's bathroom, you know, you never know if people are around you or watching you. So he says, oh, so when he's peeing, he just has this, one of his fingers touch the stream. And so his mind says, I'm absorbing it. I like the imagination of our community. And you gals could do it too. You just have different plumbing. That's all. All right. Applying to topically. Been in the sun too long? Not to worry. Urine removes sunburn stings in 10 minutes as it quickly raises the pH, which is in chemistry the values of the concentration of hydrogen ion of the skin and body. Apply urine to any skin surfaces exposed to the sun while sunbathing. Within minutes, the sting will be unnoticeable. A beautiful tan will be reward for treating sunburn with urine. I would go to hot springs with my friends, and it's a clothing optional hot springs. And they would bring out their SPF 34 rated sunscreen. They're putting it on, they make sure they got it on their partner, blah, blah, blah. 2 hours later, they're still complaining. And I'm smiling, and I have a suntan. So, you know, people still, they don't know. Right? They don't know different.
It also applies to sun gazing too, when you put it on your eyes right before you look at the sun.
Are you putting it over the eyeball or over the eyelid?
Both.
Both. And what did you notice after you did the sun gazing?
I saw rainbows.
Right on. Did they last
And
very long?
as long as I could keep from blinking as much.
Yeah. You kind of remind me of when you do candle gazing, and you stare at the candle. You stare at the candle for a long time. You close your eyes, and you can still see it flickering inside your eyelids. All right, the middle of page 125, Urine compresses and body wraps. You've done body wraps before?
I haven't. No.
Okay. Typical herbal body wrap, you go to either a spa, salon, or someone's house, and they would apply herbs all over your body, essential oils, herbs, whatever. Then they'd either wrap you in wool, cotton, or some kind of material, and then plastic around that. So you heat up, you sweat out the toxins, and you get all these great benefits from the plants goes into your blood. So, but we're going to do it with urine. So here we go, chapter 19. Urine compresses and body wraps are an effective way in treating diseased body parts and internal organs, skin conditions, wounds. These work miracles quickly when treating a third-degree burn. You may have to leave a compress on and keep it moist for 3 days to give the body a chance to grow a new layer of skin. The open or swollen skin over the blisters should be left alone. Don't puncture it, since this protects the area, serving as a temporary band-aid for the new layer of skin growing under the blister. And who didn't do that as a kid? Who didn't do that? You're just picking it out, thinking, okay, it don't look really good, right? And then what happens? It bleeds again. It's part of the
Yeah,
work. You did
I
that.
have a scar that did that when I had boiling liquid on my wrist.
Yep.
Kind of blessed with a scar, but I kind of like it because it lets me know which one's right and which one's left.
There you go. You figured it out.
Positive.
So refill the compress when it becomes dry, replace it, and reapply. And that's pretty much the length of time to determine how many days you're going to use it. You start to feel better, your skin doesn't hurt, the sting goes away. I mean, you can intuitively just stop when you feel like everything's changed. All right, fresh oil Urine rubbings on page 126. One method is to soak cotton balls or washcloth in Urine and rub or dab it on affected areas. When treating an area that has been affected, get a soft latex disposable glove for hands, soft plastic type of shoe covers used by surgeons, plastic bags, shower cap, plastic wrap, or a large leaf of a tree to wrap the burned or affected area. This is done to keep oxygen away from the sun. The reason I mentioned a large leaf, because you may not always find yourself in the city, surrounded by the comforts of your house, with everything you need to get, pull this off. If you're out hiking, or if you're lost, or you're stuck in the desert, in the forest, or whatever, you look around nature, you got what you need. If you're just paying attention. Oxygen is what causes the skin to blister and to feel painful. This is indicated for general skin care, rashes, wounds, and bites. Now, I kind of mentioned homeopathic treatment, so I'm not going to read this chapter, but if you ever want to do homeopathic because someone is really, really sick and you don't want to accelerate the detox, then you can dilute it down to whatever percentage you want to. I would just start putting drops under their tongue and see how their body responds. It may not be as intense as we thought it was going to be. People oftentimes make more out of things than they need to. All right, page 128. Compress for hair, feet, and hands. Fill a silicone disposable glove, shower cap, plastic leg cast protector, or plastic bag with fresh or evolving Urine. Leave it on the area for an hour, according to the severity of burn, rash, bite, cut, or sting. Don't apply creams or any other products on the skin. If Urine first aid is not available, forget the Urine, immediately cover the burn area. That's the most important thing to do. So if you just don't feel like peeing, you don't have anything around, first thing you want to do is cover up the area. You want to keep the oxygen from getting in there. Refill your Urine compress when it dries up. For a 3rd-degree burn, you may have to leave it on for 3 days to give the body a chance to grow a new layer of skin. And here's some protocols. There's a video, I don't know if that's still up on Facebook, but I did a video of doing all these protocols. And there it is right there. There's the link. Throughout history, sages have been well aware of the hormonal effect of Urine. They state that if a person is unable to urinate, the Urine from someone of the same sex is acceptable, but not from somebody of the other sex. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe it?
Well, I've also heard the opposite. So.
Great. So once again, we're dealing with an intuitive medicine. It has been long held belief that the female urine contains a greater amount of female hormones, such as estrogen. And if ingested over a long period of time, this may have a feminizing effect on the man. Katie and I drank each other's Urine during the 10 days. My voice box didn't get any higher. She didn't grow facial hairs. I mean, nothing changed. So I think that's based on superstition.
Okay.
And the same thing happened at the retreat. People wanted to try each other's out and share each other's immune power, immunity.
Mhm.
And when it's held in the right context, it's not weird. Like a lot of things we're doing, for the people who've never done this before, who've never thought about doing urine therapy, looks pretty weird. You know, some people have suggested we might be in a cult. And I'm
Oh.
telling you, well, maybe we got it right. Maybe you guys are the weird ones in a cult because you don't drink your urine. So it's all perspective.
Yeah.
All right. It has been long held at the bottom of 129, then we're going to change pages. The opposite was also believed to be true if a woman ingests male urine, which contains extra testosterone. Despite the theory or superstition, many report when urine therapy is needed to restore health, urine from either gender will do just fine. Shivambu is known as a universal panacea for a reason. For patients who are unable to keep down fluids or urinate, obtain urine from another person other than the patient to give it to a person who is sick. The preferred donor is a vegan, non-smoker who doesn't take drugs or drink alcohol. So when Dr. Vijay Gupta, I don't know if you know who he is, Dr. and his wife, Indira Gupta, were mentors of mine here in Boulder, Colorado. They're from India. They've been doing urine therapy since 1984. Long time. Well, something happened and he got sick. He had some kind of lung issue. Paramedics came by and took him to the hospital. Well, it's a sad ending to what happened, but Doc Mike flew in from Chicago and we gave him urine massages every day. We fed him urine. I rubbed his feet with it everywhere. Took to that day in and day out. When the nurses weren't in the room. When the nurses came back in the room, we played dumb and let the nurses poke and prod and put things inside his vein. Well, he got released and then his condition changed again, went back in the hospital, ends up dying 2 days later. Well, what killed him was not the lung condition, was the fact that they injected him with remdesivir, whatever you pronounce it, without consulting his wife. They gave him 3 shots and we found out that that has been killing people around the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I brought that up. Anyway.
In my opinion, I think the whole medical establishment is the way to brainwash the masses, and that's the real cult.
It is. So the reason I brought it up is because we were all exchanging our urine with him, trying to bring him back. And it would have worked if he was at home and there was no medical personnel around.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go down to Doc Mike in the middle of page 130. I've talked to him a couple times. UT therapists like Doc Mike Whitford, who's now at it for like 22 years, proved that point by seriously ill clients by drinking their urine, both genders, even from those diagnosed with cancer, diabetes, or a virus, they're all getting great results. And last count, he told me he's had 50 samples of urine from 50 different clients, and he's got the super immunity power of 50 people.
Mhm.
And the dude's incredible. He's 78, and he crosses the United States and Europe and all kinds of places. The moment somebody says, I need you, can you help me? They pay his way, boom, boom, boom. They pay him up front. He just goes. He was in, anyway, I got to spend some time with him. Ex-Marine, he's very disciplined. Amazing guy. Rubber massage the whole body or the affected area with urine, and Daniel met him too. Leave it on or rinse it off with cool water after 15 minutes. Avoid the use of soap. Notice, for topical use, applying urine that's 8 days old is better than 2-day-old. Save it in a glass jar with a good cover in a cool and dark place. Obtain urine immediately after intercourse and apply it to the genitals and related area. Girls should apply a douche with fresh urine and leave the urine on the skin for at least 10 minutes. And I throw this joke out just for the people who might watch this afterwards. This is for the non-pee drinkers, the people who thought this is the strangest thing you've ever heard of. I pointed out to these people, the reason that you have good-looking penises and vaginas is because you don't dry very well. You don't tap very well. You don't whatever very well, clean up very well. And does that make any sense?
Yes.
The medicine falls on your body all the time, but we don't get a connection.
Hmm.
That didn't embarrass. Did that embarrass you?
Oh, good. Nothing embarrasses me.
Well,
Yeah.
we can't see
Anymore.
you blushing. Okay.
But
All right.
yeah, you're talking to her.
I'm talking to everybody. It's a double Gemini thing. All right, Orin as a deodorant for people who are still, for some reason, buying deodorants. As one improves the quality of their diet and continues with UT, you'll begin to have more pleasant smelling sweat or perspiration. This lets you stop using commercial underarm deodorant. As a deodorant, dab some in the places where you usually roll on an antiperspirant. The results will be remarkable. One will not smell from sweat. Rub on hairy chests and feet for a clean and fresh topical fragrance. Practicing UT protocols daily, especially with the addition of saturation dosing, builds a strong body as it quickens the healing. Orin by the bedside. Did I ever talk about that? Yeah, if you keep a jar like this by your bedside, here's the kind of benefit you get. Keep a jar of Orin on a nightstand next to your bed. Many leave the jar open without a lid at night for air purification, deep sleep, and improved breathing. This Orin can be useful to quench the thirst in the night or to put in the navel as a way to return to a deeper sleep, or on the legs to heal cramps, Charlie horses, and any tightness in your feet or your ankle. Get used to your friends commenting on how you look glowing, ageless, and more relaxed. Has anybody mentioned anything to you guys?
Yes. Yeah.
And what'd you tell them? Thank you.
Well, they know, and they know, and they said, "Geez, we thought something was different. You're glowing."
Yeah. Yeah. Get used to it.
Good.
Orange juice. Yeah, I'm getting used to it. People can't guess your age at some point. They go, how old are you? I said, I don't care. I don't know. I don't practice that. Make up a number. People say, you're in your 40s. I said, let's stop there. I love you. That's a good number. So you get to play with aging because it's all a concept anyway.
Yeah, I always say I'm nearly 60, because then they think, geez, you look young, because I'm not far off 60, but I always put it up rather than down.
Yeah. Work it, girl. Yeah. Orange juice, 100% pure therapeutic grade ultra filtered golden plasma water is what does a body good. To overcome doubts about the power of Orin by clients, carefully read the following. Well, we're not going to read this because we've got things to do and 2 more classes to do it. So this woman is Manjushri Abhinav. Her and I were collaborating on projects back in the day, and she's been doing urine therapy for quite some time. And the gal looks gorgeous. She's got a family. I think she's got a husband, and she's the admin of the urine therapy of the Shivambu group, Facebook group in India.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from someone from India, it was great to have her perspective on the approach to urine therapy. So when you get a chance, read what Manjushri wrote about.
And
Yeah, Daniel.
another thing about putting it by the bedside is you get blessing it, like healing, loving, gratitude, calming, sleepy, lucid dreaming, appreciation. Thank you for helping me sleep, or whatever blessing you feel called to do.
Nice words. Thank you. We're going to go over to page 137. Moving on to 137. Nourishes the nails. To strengthen, nourish, refresh, and brighten the color of your nails, soak them in Orin for 10 to 15 minutes. Then brush the nails. In the end, rinse your nails in water or orin. You'll be pleasantly surprised by the results. Now, in the future, you can imagine you go someplace to get a pedicure and they put your fingers in orin for 15 minutes. That would be different. And I hope they get rid of those damn chemically smelling fingernail polish and nail remover. You ever go into one of those salons, you notice that the people who are giving the pedicures are the ones wearing the mask,
Yes. Yeah.
but not the client.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great reveal right there. All right, enemas. Enemas and fasting greatly improve the cleansing and purification of the body, mind, and spirit. Number 1, choose the right container. The Shivambu Kalpa from the Damar Tantra, which we've already talked about, where this all started, recommends the use of pots made out of gold, silver, copper, brass, iron, glass, earth, clay, bamboo, bones, leather, or bowl, made of plantain leaves as the ideal containers to use or to store orin. And you can also include cupped hands or a coconut shell or a geode from a crystal, or whatever you got.
Well, yeah.
What to use as a cover. Cheesecloth, soft material, or nylon stocking can stretch the cover any size jar. Covering orin jar is optional. I already read this. I read it from a different chapter. But the whole idea is you can cover it or not cover it. And it's a good idea to label the date on it when you started it, particularly if you want to be able to measure how old is this water. And some people, you know, they're pretty dialed in. They're looking their water supply closet and they go, well, that feels like about 6 months old. I'll have some of that. And some people, they date it. You know, it's totally optional.
Yeah. I go by taste and feel, or I just simply ask it.
Yeah.
And then just hold it up to your heart.
Mm-hmm. And you wait for it to guide you?
Yeah.
All right, good suggestion. Good suggestion. By nature, at the end of page 138, by nature, shivambu is a self-purifying and is always evolving. Where can you find anything like this in nature? Perhaps this is what a salamander uses to regrow its tail. You've heard of that. Salamanders and some animals, if something gets cut off or they're running through the forest and something gets chopped off or bitten off, they grow back. Their ability to regenerate is just phenomenal. And it's been said that we can do the same thing once we figure it out. Grow back teeth, grow back an organ that was taken out, grow back hair. Who knows? Let's just keep doing shivambu, see what happens.
Mm.
It's a personal choice whether to cover it or not. Let's go over to 139. A very important thing to do every day, whether you practice urine therapy or not, is to rest, rest, rest. After you're healed and in good health, continuing the daily practice with UT protocols and a good diet will be your best insurance for a long and healthy life. Never allow yourself to become regularly exhausted or overtired. Consistent proper rest is crucial to health. Once you have recovered from a major illness or from pushing yourself too hard to accomplish anything, stay vigilant and mindful in getting abundant rest and relaxation. And for some of us who are driven and keep working on projects after project and enjoy the rush of creation and making things come forth, we need to rest more than other people. As someone who loves to do retreats. Let's do a retreat in Melbourne. That would be a whole lot of fun.
Yes,
We kind of had that talk, right?
yes.
Okay. Well, if you decide to get serious and you want to move forward, I'll let Katie know. She'll speed up her passport process and we could put it together. We need 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Lead time. I put 2 together in a 3-month window, but the team has to be on top of everything a lot, to build it, get the venue and get all the transportation together and the promotions and all that. So that's what it looks like.
Exciting.
Yeah, can't wait to get there. All right. Page 140. We are done with the protocols. Any questions? There are approximately 25 protocols. If they're not all in this book, then they're in, oh, where is it? Where is it? Then they're going to be in this book. This book, by the way, was originally written and given to the world with the intention that it would be kept inexpensive on purpose so people could buy quantities and give them away as gifts. I attempted to raise the cost of the book, and Amazon says, no, you can't raise the cost of the book because the original cost of the book is going to stay that way. So the book is still $7.77. And if you ever feel like, giving gifts away, there's a great gift.
Yeah.
Or just leave it on the back side of your toilet or on the coffee table and see what kind of conversations come up. You drink your pee? Oh, Daniel?
I think blessings should be blessing your urine should be one of the protocols too. Like every time you use it, and you find what vibrates the highest for you. Like
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Good suggestion, Daniel. That's the reason why all my books have prayers at the beginning.
Oh.
So people will approach it with the sacredness it deserves.
Yeah.
All right, page 140, guys. We're going to take a break in about 30 minutes. How's your energy?
Good.
Good.
So far.
Daniel's got his symbol of Om and the lotus flower there, so we're good. All right, this is about how to become a therapist. We're moving into the profession now. These next couple chapters will include preparing for a session, surveying a client, how to give general treatment suggestions, a peek at some of my sessions with my clients, how to present it professionally if you decide to take this to the world. And this leads into working with the media, and then ultimately the future, what experts are saying, and we'll see what we got going between now and the last class. I try to get in as much as the material from the book as possible, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but you guys own the book, so it's good. All right, page 140. Offering suggestions without prescribing or diagnosing will be explained in this chapter. You and a client can only succeed when you are of service, when you guide, mentor, and are not a personality, an ego, or identity who is seeking praise or has an attachment to the outcome. Orin therapy teachers never make promises of healing with the client. The ultimate responsibility in healing with UT rests in the mind of the client. Give your best, expect the best. One of the most interesting pieces of information on Orin that I came across was the fact that the amniotic fluid that surrounds human infants is primarily Orin. The infant breathes in Orin-filled amniotic fluid continually. Without this fluid, the lungs don't develop. Doctors believe that the softness of a baby's skin and the ability of in utero infants to heal quickly without scarring after pre-birth surgery is due to the therapeutic properties of the Orin-filled womb, amniotic fluid. Why does UT work for some people and not for everybody? Have you ever come across that question? You might have that question. People will be starting their urine therapy practices and give up way too soon. And here's an explanation of why. I've already mentioned it in another chapter. Healing is more complex than just drinking it. Improving the diet, fasting, cleansing, right thinking, attitude, healthy emotions, and spiritual or self-love practices will boost the shivambu benefits. Understand? People who are miserable or self-destructive or hate themselves or hate life have a lot more work to do than grateful, joyous people. Motivated people do really well with this therapy. A well-trained or intuitively sensitive UT therapist makes inquiries into areas of their life and designs a well-rounded program that accelerates, deepens, and brings results. That detailing questions is more thorough than just advising clients to do urine therapy and wishes them well. I read this, didn't I? Well, I read it again.
Yeah. All
All right,
good.
let's go to the next page, and then we're going to head into chapter 9 here. Page 143. Shivambu is love. In this manual, there are articles from UT educators, researchers, and teachers on shivambu, self-healing practices. These are written to help you design perfect treatment suggestions for yourself or for others. In the popular Shivambu Hut social media network, you can read UT articles, watch related videos, as well as contribute content that's being enjoyed by the members of the growing water family at the hut. We're almost at 900 members, by the way. Every now and then, like I go back to the hut and 4 new people joined in that day, or 8 new people joined in that day. And so it's a great place to go, just to hang out. Get to hear from everybody. To get a free membership, there's where you go. To avoid making claims and keeping yourself from any legal matters, always remember you're not a licensed medical professional who can diagnose and prescribe medications. Study general treatment suggestions, which will be coming up in the next chapter. Stay on the safe side and only guide them along their journey. Remind them that the body heals itself when given the proper nutrients, and those nutrients are absorbed. Mention that their body's innate intelligence custom manufactures the perfect elixir for their specific needs every time. That's the important part to know. Now, there's an alarm clock that's built into your water. It's called pressure on the bladder.
Yeah.
So this is your body's way of telling you, medicine's ready, come on, collect it. Pretty intelligent.
Yes.
All right, we're on chapter 9. Now, there's a difference between general treatment suggestions and diagnosing and prescribing. So what we do is we make suggestions as we're reminding people it's an intuitive medicine, but these are the type of combinations of protocols that people are using now that they've been healing themselves with. So this is why this chapter is entitled Suggestions. This list contains, grab a drink, hang in there, guys. This list contains some of the most common labeled diseases and UT protocol suggestions from the classic book, Golden Fountain by Cohen Vanderkroon. The beneficial effects of practicing Urine therapy may vary according to a client's diet, lifestyle, state of mind, and way of being, as well as commitment. Benefits will range from some relief to total healing, and in general, one must realize that healing is always dependent upon many cofactors. In this chapter of the manual, you will find the precise methods in detail. As mentioned in the discussion in the whole body, mind, healing chapter, all 4 pillars of health must be in balance to achieve optimum health. These areas include mental, emotional, physical, and self-love, or what some people call spiritual. There's no strict guidelines or rules for UT. Starting from a general basic treatment, everyone must find the application of UT which is most appropriate for their needs, and similarly, which other types of treatment should be combined with UT for the best results. Generally, in cases of chronic or serious diseases, it's useful to do an urine fast with distilled water, foot soaks, distilled water is optional, distilled water, foot soaks, navel soaks, urine enemas, and have regular massages. This is referred to as an intensive treatment. In most cases, even when relatively healthy, this intense form of UT is highly cleansing and health-giving. Whenever massage is mentioned in these treatment suggestions, you get to decide whether you want to use evolving or fresh. That's totally up to you, or whatever you have available. Evolving urine has more potency. The term massage generally means the gentle rubbing of urine into the skin or applying it into the affected parts. Now, the reason this is written, now I'm a massage therapist, so this is one of my points of reference. the gentle rubbing of Urine, it's going to absorb when you touch the skin. Pressure doesn't make it go in any deeper, which is kind of a fallacy of thinking, well, if I press it a little harder, then it'll absorb even deeper. It's going to absorb however it can when it gets into the pores. So just the fact that if you feather or rub gently on the body, you're still going to get results. The other kind of massage would be if you're trying to open up insertion areas where muscles are tight or the spine is out of alignment. I mean, you can do that as well. All right, page 146 to page 152. What we're going to do now is just kind of skim through all these conditions and kind of get to see how there's a similar pattern going on here. You know, massaging the skin, the hair, the feet, drinking, and so forth. Now, what I didn't do is list disease after disease after disease. These seem to be the most popular ones that people are working on. So this is why I narrowed it down to this group. So as you can see, there's similarities between each one of these, and there's reasoning why these are given. For example, asthma, page 147. And this is the same with any respiratory conditions, whether it's chronic or acute, whether it's lungs or whether it's sinuses. You want to use saturation dosing, drinking, and dietary changes. What I didn't put in there would be drinking in the nose drinking, which could be sniffing.
I use conditions instead of diseases because I don't really believe in diseases.
Right.
But
I agree with you, and for the sake of the general audience is why I use those words.
okay.
I mean, they'll make the change in their mind. I think they'll understand it.
Like chicken pox is basically just excess mucus and many other things coming to the surface constantly. It's not something that's passed on to people.
Mm-hmm. Well, the same thing applies to a lot of conditions like asthma. And people have excess mucus. So it's clogging up the elimination organs of the lungs and the sinuses. And the other counterpart, which I didn't go into, which is also the deeper version of healing, is the emotions that are associated with diseases. You know, if you don't work out your childhood issues or your issues with your mom and your dad or intimacy issues or feeling unworthy, that affects your health as well. And that's the fourth pillar we talk about in the 4 pillars of health, is the emotional counterpart. You can't deny them. Got to be felt.
Yeah. Kelly goes into that deeply as well. With her iris report.
Yes, iridology. You may want to get one from Katie. Donna. Just saying, if we pull this off in Australia, there's a good chance Katie will fly her camera and all her equipment with her so she can give readings.
Yeah, beautiful.
And she did this in Portland. I'm waiting for my report to come in the mail. And so then she does a report about the photographs that go with it, and she can tell you what conditions you need to address, which organs are weak, and protocols to correct that. And she does it in a way that doesn't intimidate or scare people like other people do.
Sounds lovely.
Yes, indeed. So acne, aging, AIDS, allergies, amoebas, apathy, appendicitis, you can see how these are designed. So when someone comes up to you and they say they've got this condition, that condition, and so forth, when you study this enough times and you've been working with your intuition enough times, you're not gonna like freeze up and not know how to answer them. Your intuition will say, well, let's see. The first thing we always go for is drinking, enemas, foot soaks, eye rinses, and so forth. And you just customize it according to their condition. And if you get to know them psychologically, or if you've probed, you've gotten deeper into their belief systems and you know them pretty closely, then you can address it that way and make new recommendations. Oh, you're stressed out. Your adrenals are probably overworked. You're working too hard. You got too many things on your plate. You need the melatonin and the serotonin and those things to help you to relax and soften the stress. Start drinking and doing foot soaks. So you can see how this starts to make sense.
Yeah.
So these are just suggestions. That's why it's called suggestions, because your intuition will design treatment suggestions for your clients. And after you practice it for a year or so, you'll start get good at figuring it out for yourself.
Yep.
Which is lovely. All righty.
Like,
Any questions, Daniel?
like, a comment on that. How to amplify the effects is like, we are activating the melatonin or serotonin and centering the mind and heart and body, a willingness to let go of all emotions that aren't centered in love and gratitude and letting go of all attachments.
Thank you. Everybody take a breath. So 8:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1 o'clock. Okay, let's start into chapter 10, then we're gonna take a break. Chapter 10 is only 3 pages. We're on page 153. Designing UT protocols and wellness practices for a client to bring about radiant health. Making inquiries or probing into the lives of a client determines the direction of the session. This information compiled from the discussion helps in designing general treatment suggestions and a program that includes all aspects of well-being. Inquiry helps you understand a holistic overview of their health as a way, misspelled word, as a way of building protocols, practices, and a program that brings the results they came to you to achieve. Just telling people to drink their water and do the protocols and sending them away is a disservice to the client. And some people do that. They approach it, it's like they don't care. They just say, oh, drink your water, you'll be fine. Go, have a good life. And some of us, I know Katie is the same way, we get really involved in people's life and what their struggles are. So we can help them to come not only to balance with their health, with the diet and with this, but to turn around their mind, turn their thinking around. You may or may not want to go to that extent, or you may already be doing that.
That's good.
So depending on how thorough and how good of a friend you want to be to people, can determine what kind of therapist you are or teacher.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you can study all you want, and you can be like the master teacher like me. You can know all this stuff, but ultimately, people want to know that you care.
Yeah.
More than you know stuff.
Mm.
So we're always constantly learning to keep our ego in check so it doesn't try to, run the show. It's Sunday, I get to preach. All right.
It's
Here's
Monday.
What is it, Monday there?
Yes.
Okay, you can preach. All right. All right, here's some sample questions for your new clients to contemplate as well as be able to answer. And you guys can think about this, how it applies to you in your life. Because sometimes I ask these questions in class. I didn't do it, so let's just read them and see where it hits you. What motivated you to start practicing UT? Was it a book, a person, an illness, or mere curiosity? Who or what was your influence? What went through your mind when you were considering actually drinking your pee? Can you recall any defining moments that stand out that inspired your decision? What mental obstacles, if any, did you have to overcome to take the first drink? Was it easy or difficult for you to do this? Did you have to overcome a gag reflex or feelings of disgust? Some people did. What UT protocols are you currently practicing, and which do you use every day? Have you tried a variety of the protocols? Which are your favorites and why? What did you study, or what are you studying now to further your education? Would you say that you are passionate and outspoken about shivambu, or are you keeping it a secret and not wanting to let anybody know you drink your pee? There are still people who are timid. They go, I don't want to get criticized and rejected. I'm going, who cares? That's all their old stuff about people not liking them or rejecting them. I said, you push through that stuff, because you could save a life, and you'd never know if you didn't open your mouth. This is why I take boldness and face the courage enough to stand out on the streets and get permission from the city. I did this a few years ago. I got a permit from the city that I can host a table. Since I have a nonprofit, I can host a table about urine therapy out on a popular high traffic plaza in downtown Boulder. And I had 3 of my students join me. 1 was filming and 2 were just standing around passing out literature. We had a big sign that said urine therapy does the body good. And in 4 hours, we had 35 people curious to ask questions. Only 2 hecklers.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, and so that's on my YouTube channel if you want to pick up any of that. This is basically to see what you're made out of. See if you got the courage to take it public. And the public doesn't know about this stuff if they don't look at it on the internet. So there's a way to reach a wider audience. How has daily urine therapy practices affect your life? Do you think you'll ever consider stopping this practice? No. Can you explain the transition that people go through in order to get the most from practicing UT, i.e. diet, lifestyle, mental changes, or beliefs about oneself? And lastly, what advice would you give newbies about taking the important first step? Donna, what would you tell a newbie who's considering starting this, but they're hesitating and they're not willing to take the leap? What would you tell them?
Well, I'm very passionate about it, and so I just get excited. I was talking to someone yesterday and they on the phone and they said, oh, I can just hear it in you. I can just hear it. So I suggested just doing the finger dip to start off with and rubbing it in. Mm-hmm. And she was very keen to start it. So and that was the first conversation I'd had with her. I said, oh, guess what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we spoke about it for some time, and she's on some medication. So I referred back to, I said intuition, but I referred back to, I think you said an hour each side of medication, just to start off, and that you'd possibly be able to wean yourself off. But obviously she had to use her intuition and things. Yeah, but she's really excited about it. So that's how I started it with her yesterday.
Good for you. So you're getting experience under your belt, so to speak?
Yes.
And how long have you been in this journey? 3 months?
Yeah, three, but it might be 4 now. And I have that little YouTube channel that I just do little talks on and put some of your stuff up.
You have videos about the subject?
Yeah, I do chats on my little journey. Yeah.
Do you want to share it with a bigger audience?
Well, it's very amateur, but yeah, I guess.
If you want to do that, did you join the Shivambu Hut?
I looked into it yesterday. I fell asleep when I was looking into it, I have to say.
It's not a deal breaker.
No, but I'm interested in it. So yeah.
Okay, I would like to suggest you get a free membership and post a video or a link to your channel.
Okay. Yeah.
Every video seems to help this movement, whether it's an amateur video or whether it's a professional and it's made in a studio. It really doesn't matter. It's the message.
Yes.
So that's up to
And
you.
I'm learning doing it. It's actually helping me learn more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, you're gaining more certainty, you're gaining more confidence, and it shows. All right. We're on page 156.
Hey. Sorry.
No, we're gonna take a break here.
Break.
We're gonna take a break. I'm gonna stop the recording. So people are trying to get through how to explain their practice, their sacred practice of urine therapy to other people. So this chapter addresses how to clear the mind of negative associations, beliefs, ideas, and some of that's wrapped in superstition and in tradition, like the drinking the midstream. But we're going to go after how to give them a new perspective and an understanding that makes sense to them. At least gives them the idea that maybe you know more than they do, and maybe you have some knowledge and some experience that might be of interest to them. So how you frame it and how you use your wording is important to whether you're going to win someone over or have them turn and run.
Mhm.
She's one of those. So this is chapter 11. Learning a client's beliefs about urine and if they've ever considered drinking their pee gives you a clearer picture of which direction to take the conversation and initial consultation. Beatrice Barnett, in her book, The Miracles of Urine Therapy, this was written in like 1994 or something like that, offers a good approach to handling aversions to drinking urine. Throughout the civilized world, blood and blood products have been used in the medical world without evoking the repugnance associated with urine. Right? Everyone's talking about blood, plasma, bleeding, whatever it is. So it's in their conversation, but they're not associated yet. We have prepackaged cells, blood plasma, white blood cells, and countless components. Urine is nothing other than a blood plasma product. Babies are being breastfed, and we easily accept this along with the common practice of eating dairy products. These are the things we've accepted without questioning. Yet we cannot imagine drinking urine. Fresh urine contains the same substances as those found in the blood. If you think about it, urine is blood plasma, ultra-filtered blood plasma water. And some people, when they're explaining it to people, they avoid using the word urine or urine or pee, and they just say, well, I drink golden blood plasma water. What's that? And then you go into an explanation. Because they're teaching them there's a new mindset. There's a new way of approaching the subject. So this is where your creative mind is really going to help you explain it to people. Yay. Since urine is not, okay, let's go back a paragraph. Pee was part of your blood just minutes before and flowed everywhere through your body, possibly through your tongue. Since urine is not poisonous or disgusting while in the body, why is it considered repulsive as piss? These are good questions to get people to start thinking a little deeper. Well, how come in your body, you're okay with talking about it in your body, but if it comes out of your bladder, you have a different idea about it? So there's a disconnect in there. Overcoming objections in a sensitive and compassionate manner is crucial to a successful UT session. Anyone who criticizes or challenges you about urine therapy, whether someone in person or someone who calls you in on a radio show while you're being interviewed, known as a heckler or a troll, is someone who never did their research and is repeating what they've been taught about the water. And you'll figure that out in a matter of seconds once they open their mouth. Okay, I know where we're going. This way, you never have to take their words or their energy or their emotions personally, and you can hold your ground while confidently responding to them. Page 158. Bring it on, baby. Some of the concerns or mental obstacles that have been overcome about drinking urine has included the following, and we're going to go through that. It's 2 pages. Okay. I've always thought it was a waste product. Why would anybody want to drink their pee? Now, after the questions is the responses that you can use. They're secretly wondering if you are a trusted or credible source. They seem to be waiting for guidance from the inner voice to decide about working with you. These are the pillars of health, I tell them no: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, or self-love. It is to your advantage, dear readers, to take this teaching to heart and design a personal daily program of practices for you first before you get in these situations. After being a product of discipline, you will know how to assist your clients in finding their way. Now, 1, what will they think of me if I become a pee drinker? This goes through a lot of people's minds. What will my wife, my husband, my kids think about me, and my neighbors? Remind the clients that what you think about yourself matters most. This is the most important part. What others think about you is none of your business. By the way, that's not a flippant, sarcastic remark. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Your work will include acknowledging and giving them recognition, empowering them, and reminding them the truth about themselves. I'm going to feel embarrassed, they may think. I'm going to feel embarrassed and think what others are criticizing me. Once again, give the client reassurance that they're okay just the way they are. Are you insane, Sage? Is this a cult? It's a trust issue. I mean, anything that's a criticism or a judgment, it's a trust issue. So once again, you give them reassurance. They'll ask, is it safe? It's another trust issue. I have been drinking my pee for many years and I feel greater every day. 30 million people, by the way, we're up to almost 300 million. Maybe we may be up to 1,000 million. There's a lot going on. 300 million people worldwide are alive and well because they drink their wee every day. Does that tell you anything? Is orange sterile? Page 160. Is orange sterile or full of germs? Answer: being made in the ultimate sterile environment without any contact from outside the body. Your water is being made in an ultra sterile lab conditions. It is always designed exactly to meet your most current bodily needs, stored in a sterile container, and signals you by using pressure that it's ready. Urine is absolutely sterile, and most of the urine that your body produces goes back into the bloodstream anyway. Did you know that? If it doesn't get filtered in and delivered into the bladder, there's a percentage of it that goes back into your bloodstream and it becomes part of the circulatory system. Okay. Why does it smell sometimes? After a while, the uric acid in urine changes to ammonia, and only then does it start to smell. However, the smell evaporates completely after it is absorbed into the skin or any organic surface. Got any testimonials and research that might convince me? Yes, there are thousands to show you. What will it take for you to trust my word and get started? See, we're at the selling point. I love being at that point. Wow, was it hard for you to take that first drink? This is me. I was 40 at the time and experienced with just about everything imaginable. Considering all the many health benefits, the many methods of healing that I tried as a way to become healthy, drinking my pee was not that much of a leap. What really convinced me was to go for that first sip and drink from the writings of Cohen Vanderkroon and Leonard Orr. It was the reminder by Leonard, a devotee of Babaji, which many knew as Shiva, that really spoke to me. Well, since Shiva sent Leonard to deliver the Shivambu message to me, of course, I said yes. Hold on a second here. All right, what has it done for you? It's healed the intestines, vision, hearing, and sharpened calmness that from restless mind. Keeping the discipline of using the urine protocols every day for 28 years continues to bring me a clear, calm mind, balanced emotions, and boundless energy all day. Page 162. I've always thought it was a waste product. It's always what I heard about piss. Where did you get that idea? That'll stop them in the tracks if you ask them that question. Where did you get that idea from? Did you make it up, or did somebody try to convince you that's real? What made you think that it was true? Perhaps the medical system made it all up to hide the knowledge from us. No. Why would anybody want to drink his or her pee? When I'm done explaining the truth about Urine and have answered all of your questions, you will be convinced. Only when your motivation or why is strong enough to take action to get well, will you hear and understand why millions are healthier and happier because they made the choice to begin and practice this every day. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. Why should I trust you or take your word that it's healthy and it's okay for me to drink it? Do I appear sane and sincere that UT is the real deal? Check in with yourself now and see how you feel about AUT and if you're ready to go for it. By planting this one idea in their mind, concerns start to wash away as they sense your certainty and sincerity about AUT's potential to help restore their health. Now, if anybody tries to knock me off my understanding of shivambu, they'll eventually realize that it's a useless battle. When you're solid and this is your lifestyle of choice and this is your medicine of choice, you're not going to be affected or deterred by anybody. Yeah. What if we are right and urine really is perfect medicine and the medical system got it wrong or intentionally lying to us? Okay, now you got my attention. How do I start? So that's the point, the magic moment, the defining moment when they're willing to trust you and go collect their water. Have you ever been in that situation where somebody goes to the bathroom, comes back and drinks for the first time in front of you?
Not in front of me.
It may happen. I've had it several occasions. These people trusted me and it was like their maiden voyage. And two people did it on camera. They were in Puerto Rico and somewhere else. And they said, I trust you. Besides, you're like 5,000 miles away. So they came back with their jar and they drank it in front of me and expressed that it wasn't as bad as they thought it would be. And the gal in Puerto Rico got off of smoking cigarettes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I mean, addictions are tough for people, but if you got the chemistry and the brain balance, anything's possible.
Yes.
That's lovely.
Yep. And that's what happened to Dr. Gupta. He was like a chain smoker back in 1984, and his wife got him on urine therapy. In 3 days, he no longer a smoker. So there's hope for people. Remember, you and your client can only succeed as long as you take the position of a servant, a guide, a mentor, not a personality, an ego, or an identity. Number one, offer a personal story as confirmation or validation that you got results and that you're not a snake oil salesperson, are sincere and do walk your talk. Now, this is something that you can always do. And this is what you tell people who are a little timid about telling their mom or their brother or their partner that they practice this practice. And what you can do is use a third party. You can say, well, I read it in this book. This guy named Brother Sage, he wrote this book on the subject and he says da 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 da. Or I know this person who healed themselves of diabetes, a brain tumor, autism, blah, blah, blah. And that gives you more validation because they have history with you and may not believe you. But you bring that a third party in, you have a lot more validation. But if you're Daniel, you don't need that because Daniel's solid. All right. Teach basic UT 101. Keep it simple. Avoid talking over their head no matter how much they appear to know. Get in the habit of thinking you're speaking to a fifth grader, and you'll be effectively communicating with most people. There is, of course, not much you can do with skeptics, closed-minded people, or if you're talking to someone who's medically trained. That might be a tough sell. But I give them my best shot. And if I hit the wall, I say, well, now you know, look it up sometime. And some of these people have turned around and came back a year later. Hey, I got sick. It didn't work. I'm open. I want to know more about it now. And that's your opportunity. Because it has to be their idea. Or else you'll never win them over. Teach the joy of drinking one's water. You're getting the last two paragraphs of 164. Teach the joy of drinking one's water and all the protocols. Clients will guide you in taking the next step and dive deeper into the lifestyle. When a doctor claims that any disease is incurable, what they really mean is that their limited education and profession does not include self-healing and can't help you. It blows doctors and hospitals away when the client goes into remission and they're healed in their hospital and they walk away. because clients just, the doctors just lost a lifetime prospect, lifetime client. If they get well, they unplug from the medical system. Doctors don't promote UT either because they don't know about it, or they do know about it and will lose their reputation, their license, and their practice if they tell the truth. The word incurable really means incurable, meaning that from within we are curable. Urine is the only curable miracle drink that is already available to you right now. Number 3, keep in mind that practicing AUT every day is a lifestyle choice, which requires a strong connection to the water, your body, daily discipline, and your faith. Number 4, when a client is ready to learn about AUT and how to present it to others, that's when their journey really begins. That's their defining moment. You have what I want. Teach me. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want to have a life again. So teach me. And if you get someone to that point, oh my God, you just start giving them information and teaching them and showing them how you do what you do. And oh man, what a joyful place to be. Page 166. On being a trusted source. Establishing trust and a connection with students and clients is achieved from the skills and expertise you develop as a urine therapy professional. Relationships with clients get easier as you bring a clear state of mind, calm energy, sensitivity, and presence into every meeting with them. Relationships develop organically into mutual trust and admiration. There's a growing number of people in the water community that we're friends for life. So I hope that happens for you. You're blessed with more and more friends in this community. It brings you a lot more support in doing your practice. Do you need to connect with somebody?
Me?
You were looking up like there's somebody there.
No, it's just the cat and the dog.
Oh, okay, no problem. Your family.
Sorry.
No, a lot of people have four-legged friends.
Oh, yeah.
They're going everywhere. Okay, the responsibility for healing and well-being is always up to the client. A mere shift of perception is all that's really required to heal oneself. This comes right out of A Course in Miracles. Your work is to teach information that will lead a client to learn their own unique way on this path. This empowers them to become motivated and self-disciplined in restoring their health and well-being. When a client is excited or inspired by their why, they are drinking pee and using UT protocols daily, then their commitment and success is assured. And you want to get them to the point of being able to voice that. Why do you want to try this? What will it do for you? What are you looking to achieve? All right, so that puts it into a framework that you can start telling them. You just did your job and you made a best friend for life. Page 61, serving a client. We're doing good. We got about an hour to go. All right, lead with this question. Do you think urine can be beneficial to one's own health or to your health? This gets them thinking about it, and no is usually the answer. This is before they've experienced it, they're newbies. You think it'd be good for you? No. Okay, I was always taught it was toxic. So my reaction has always been that it's disgusting and smells, well, like pee. See, they don't have the refined sinuses and smell that we do. So it doesn't smell good to them, not until they start to use it and discover something different. It's an association that people have made. This is when you remind them of the situations in which urine is completely used. Peeing on your feet for athlete's foot, fungus, or smelling feet. Soldiers are taught in the Army survival manual, and you can look it up, that the only time they can drink their urine is when it's an emergency situation. They're stranded out in the ocean, they're caught in the desert, there's a sandstorm, they're out in the forest, then it's okay because there's no other water around and it's okay. But any other time, it's not okay. Huh?
That doesn't make sense, does it?
No, go take care of that. So
Yeah.
that's how they mess with people.
But it's like, it's an emergency So it's going to work in an emergency, but not if it's not an emergency.
Right. And I'll wait till super pug is outside.
That would be when you're more dehydrated and it would taste the worst too.
Well, yeah. Plus the fact that we're in an emergency situation every day. You know, we're trying to keep ourselves well with, you know, eating the wrong food, getting bombarded with EMFs, chemtrails, negative thinking from people. Who knows everything that's thrown at us? We have to be healthy in order to get through everything, or know how to heal ourselves if we get in trouble. So that would go against the Army manual. All right. Okay. Now we agree it'll save your life. Bingo. Your door of opportunity just presented itself. How can something that's toxic or waste material save your life? Their mind just made room to hear what you have to say about urine therapy. Take a breath. Relax and in your own way, briefly tell them what you know about the subject. This is the point where the topic can be discussed more openly without you being labeled as a complete idiot or somebody who's crazy. I've always loved to throw in the line, you have drank your own urine before, right? And they all reply, no, I haven't. And then you remind them, well, then I go into the baby in the womb speech. You drank it as a child, you were in your mom's belly for 9 months, blah, blah, blah. When the conversation goes from this point on, it's totally up to you. Call Brother Sage if you need a backup on your team. Don't worry, be happy. It is the shivambu high that has created millions of shivambu devotees across planet Earth who are keeping up this practice every day as their secret health program. Urine therapy can be easily explained. No complicated lab tests, no intricate scientific explanations are necessary, and no diagnosis is required. Remind clients that there are no risks, danger, or negative side effects to worry about other than possible cleansing and healing reactions. You may be asked to be willing to adjust many of your activities and considerations so you can focus your attention on the study and practice of AUT. Once a person starts drinking pee and including topical protocols, clients will see results rather quickly and make the commitment to stay with AUT. There have been many scientific reports that validate this theory, and we posted a few over at Shivambu Hut. You can find them circulating all over the internet. Many people with serious conditions are improving considerably in a week, up to a month on the average, or some people with lower back pain may get results right away. So you never know. We're not going to limit anybody. All right, take a drink. One of our dear water sisters out in Hawaii, I've had a chance to work with her for a while. Her name is Kiana. And she's got a beautiful female wife partner, Angel. And when she drinks her water, she'll drink the entire jar. And when she's emptying it, she shows the bottom of the jar to the camera to show that she drank every drop. So that's became her signature. Gulp, show it off. That's Kiana. All right, so here's some surveys that you can ask the people to get them thinking about trying this as a lifestyle. Why pee? Why would you want to drink your pee? What do you think is true about urine? What or who was your influence? Can you recall any defining moments that may stand out that inspired your decision? What mental obstacles did you have to overcome to take the first drink? Are you ready to make a commitment to practice urine therapy? For a newbie, did you experience a gag reflex at any time during your first drink? Was it easy or difficult for you to do this? Do you have the courage to tell others about UT? Besides drinking urine, are you open to trying any of the protocols and have your own direct experience so you will really know what Shivambu can do for you? Have you tried any of the topical protocols? Which are your favorites and why? Where did you get your UT education? Are you serious about telling others about UT discovery and personal success with your protocols? How has keeping up your daily UT practices affected your well-being or your life? I'd also add your relationships, since that seems to be a lot on people's plate right now, is the relationships 101. Somebody once said the final course for humanity is to master social skills. And there goes a cat. Can you see her?
Mhm.
Yeah. This ain't the first time, right?
No.
So you're being pretty cool about it, like me with some people the other day.
It's that good screen. It can't be effective.
All right, good call, putting it together. Do you think that you will ever consider stopping this practice is another question. And then last questions on page 172. Can you explain the changes that you are going through that is giving you the best results with UT, diet, lifestyle, and way of being or mindset? And last, what advice would you give to newbies about taking that important first step? So when you get a chance, just kind of skim over, read these questions and see how you would answer them or share these with people. Oh, by the way, if you guys get a chance, using Messenger, but not the Zoom platform, if you will send me how you want your name on, if you'll send me how you want your name on the certificate of completion for this course. She just did a quick drop, just let her claws back and went, whoop. That's how she exits the scene. Okay.
Sorry, I muted it so it wouldn't be so noisy.
No problem. This was your chance to be the entertainment today. After yesterday. Okay, everybody has a chance. We're on page 173. We got approximately an hour, and we're going to give everybody the 10 minutes like yesterday to talk about whatever you need to talk about. Page 173. Preparing for a session. How a teacher prepares for a session is just as important for the teacher as it is for the client. With a general understanding of oral therapy from studying the manual and other UT resources, personal experience, and teaching UT, you are ready to be a teacher. And one of the reasons this book was written is because there's people who want to be teachers, but they're not sure they have it together or they're in the right place in their life to be a teacher. And the best answer you can give people is, do you have direct experience? Do practices has become built into your life and your lifestyle? You're already a teacher. It's just a matter of getting your voice out there. The work begins when you are present with a client, following your intuition and knowing or trusting that the session will be perfect in every way. You no longer have to think about what to say or what to do because Source is directing you. In this chapter, we explore the use of the breath, meditation, centering, trusting one's inner knowing or guidance before starting a session. Do you do any healing arts, Donna, or any body work?
I do breath work and Wim Hof. So cold water or ice baths. Yeah.
Okay. Are these with clients or just yourself?
Oh no, just with me. Yeah.
All right. I pointed out that there's my massage table.
Yes.
So as a massage therapist, particularly the really good master ones, the good therapists, they set up the room, the ambiance, the table, the vibe of the place long before the client gets there. So when they walk into the treatment room, they've already started to relax and decompress before you even touch them. Mm. So it has to be a welcoming environment and room. You don't have to paint it lavender and turquoise, but
no. No, I understand that. Yeah.
Okay, good. So being calm, centered, and present gives you deeper insight into a client's emotions, page 174. that arises from unconscious beliefs, programming, and mental patterns that are a core of their health problems. All names and labels of what the medical system calls an illness is based on a diagnosis or theory which comes from their education, quote, their education, and is merely a suggestion. According to Don Miguel Ruiz, author of The Four Agreements, modern medical practices are a form of black magic or hypnotic suggestion. Being present with clients causes insights and guidance to go much deeper. We are not only facilitating the session, we are guiding the client in using the mind to change beliefs about themselves and their life. We are bringing hope, courage, strength, and motivation to every client. Mastering the daily practice of AUT teaches you how to teach others how to master the discipline needed to heal and accomplish anything they wish. Using your own breath and meditation practices or rituals before or during a session sets the stage or energy for you to get the most out of each session. Page 175. It's a good idea to set aside time to lay or sit down and practice during a minimum of 30 connected breathing cycles every day. Spend at least 20 to 30 minutes meditating, taking a walk quietly in nature, and being still and silent in mind, body, and energy. Do you do some of those things? Yep. Breathe, let go of all that matter that doesn't really matter.
Sorry, I'm muted again. Sorry. Yes, I do.
Okay, you find it helpful.
Yes.
And you notice how it affects your day when you skip it a day or two.
Yes. Yeah, I've been a bit slack on it lately. It does change things.
Yeah. They call it a practice for a reason. We practice these practices so that we can change our other practices and habits that don't give us the results we want. It's very important, page 175, it's very important in counseling and coaching clients to teach them these yogi practices. This supports them all through their adjustment period they will be facing along their UT journey. Teaching others to practice daily conscious connected breathing creates calm and joyous humans who, by the nature of their mindfulness to their breath while in the presence of others, are spreading conscious breathwork to countless numbers of people during their life journey. Other centering practices may include Tai Chi, Qigong, chanting, meditation, laughing, dancing, doing art projects like sculpting and painting or drawing pictures. Another centering practice is Tantra, if you've ever explored the Tantra path. You get practice with a partner and being present and being slow and deliberate with gentle, soft touches. All right. Every student may get inspired to either share Orin therapy with others or become a UT teacher someday. Always look at the big picture of UT for all humanity and how every person is affecting the evolution for future generations. Now, one of the things we do when we teach, particularly when you get to a place where you understand that teaching is more than just the people who are in front of you. We're literally doing what the Native Americans teach here in America, is to think about 7 generations in the future. So you want to design the things you teach in a way that they're duplicatable. And talking over their head makes it harder for people. Keep your conversation simple, keep your diet simple, keep your lifestyle simple, keep everything going simple, and you'll still have incredible power to do everything else without complicating your life. And this is why a lot of people that you meet might decide this is a good time this year when March comes around, when you're doing spring cleaning, is to start downsizing all the crap you've been carrying in your life. I don't mean you personally, but a lot of people have way too much things they've been saving and saving. Someday they'll look at it, someday they'll do something with it. And what I was always taught is if you've had it more than a year and you don't touch it, you don't do anything with it, get rid of it.
Yeah, that's me. Yes. Too
So,
much.
okay, so you might be downsizing this year.
Yes.
Okay, I don't even know you that well, but okay, there we go. See how connected we are?
Mm.
Any questions?
Have you ever sipped theirs or your own urine to make sure you're on the same field of consciousness? Or
Are you talking about
wavelength?
the client?
Yeah.
Am I seeking common ground? Is that what you're asking?
Oh, have you ever sipped like you both blessed your water or their water and then sipped it like a communion?
Yeah, I have several times. We do it at the retreats.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I've had some of yours, I believe.
Yeah.
You may have not had some of mine, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
People were leaving their jars on different tables all over the place. And now what we did at the retreat is we give everybody a glass jar with a lid and put their name on it. And people were leaving it around for some reason. Every now and then we'd find a jar that nobody had claimed, and we would be sipping it because we needed to sip it. So it's a fun community. Anything else, Daniel?
Yeah, that happened to me too, where I the names were rubbed off a
Blurred.
little bit,
Yeah.
and then I thought it was mine. Actually,
And
then I give it back to me. What?
how did you figure out it wasn't yours?
It tasted different, and I just noticed that the stickers on it was
Somebody else.
yeah.
At the first retreat, our buddy from Jamaica, his name is Abalu, and we had met a couple times on social media, and we talked on the phone a couple times. Well, when we met in person, it was an instant recognition and a hug and a connection. And he gifted me with a gallon of his evolving Urine. I thought, what a treat! Incredible. Well, the guy likes to participate in cannabis and mushrooms and some other stuff. So I was asking him, is there THC or psilocybin in your water? He said, there just might be. So we're going to go to page 177.
Mhm.
We got another 40 minutes. Looking into an Urine therapy session. So I decided that, people want to know what I do and what's the session look like. Can we kind of take a peek in there? So this is where this chapter came from. Remember that clients are seeking you for guidance, counsel, and to be on their healing team. That is all that we really need to know. You don't need to know much more than that. You don't need to know their story. You don't need to have any considerations or write a story. All you need to know is they came to you for help. And don't be intimidated by what they bring you. Just stand strong, knowing that you'll get the guidance and you'll be able to help them. Returning a client's mind to balance. I'll invite client to breathe, shuffle their bare feet on the floor or carpet, and clear the mind of chatter so that they are present with you and ready to get started. Returning a client's mind to balance moves their thoughts away from conflict, hopelessness, and fear to a mind open to the possibility of being healthy, happy, and free once again. At this point, you begin inquiries or just listen, let them talk. Many bring their anxieties and concerns, page 178, about their illness or condition to the session or conversation. So keep reminding them to breathe. You're building a relationship with every client. Your role is multifaceted, and you can appear to play many roles for them. As you move through a session, discovering as much as you can about their diet, their lifestyle, their self-care, or lack of self-care and mindset, you're listening for clues to reveal the true cause of their illness, which may or may not be what they ate. Everybody's trying to figure it out. What's the cause? What can I blame? Who do I point the finger at? Well, you did it to you. You thought your thoughts, and you did what you did. And so it's time for people to get that responsibility back to make the changes. You get to know them as well as they know themselves by focusing on their words, thinking, and energy. Find out why they chose UT as their method for self-healing. Since they chose you to coach them for their healing, that indicates they trust you, at least in some way. It is this trust of you that will keep their mind open to your questions, guidance, and suggestions. Keep breathing. Remind them that often to take deep breaths. Let's get started. During the inquiry stage of the consultation, the questions you will ask are in no particular order. And here's some of the questions. These are a little bit different and a little bit similar to some of the other questions, but let's just read through them pretty quickly here. What are your health concerns or what are your health challenges? What do you think's wrong with you is another way of saying it. What do you normally eat? What size are the proportions? I forgot to ask in there. Oh, there it is. There's a couple questions down. How many meals a day do you eat? How often? How late? Do you chew thoroughly, like 20 to 30 times? How early do you eat? What did you eat today? What do you do to relax? That's a good question for you and Daniel. What time do you go to sleep? When do you get up in the morning? How do you quiet your restless mind? What, if any, are some of your, not the word the, what are some of your spiritual practices like meditation, chanting, yoga, or silence? Do you practice intermittent or regular fasting or enemas? Are you, as you are gathering information, you are also listening to their choice of words, descriptions, and emotions they express behind their words. What's really happening is you're refining your ability to be empathic and compassionate. You get better each time you guide or facilitate a session at, quote, reading a client and getting insights that are way beyond your education or intelligence. You're basically hearing what they're not saying. It's almost like you're reading their mind because they're saying one thing, but there's something else you're feeling. And that's what I used to go by. Your intuition will show you what they have been believing about themselves, their body, their relationships. You can choose to help them process and clear their negative and limited beliefs, or lovingly and sensitively listen deeply and offer treatment suggestions, dietary and lifestyle choices, and teach them how to enjoy a life worth living. Giving them positive affirmations will help them to raise the quality of their thoughts about themselves and their life. Never underestimate the power of affirmations that could bring about shifts of perception that could be heard, felt, and integrated at any time during the session. Are you familiar with affirmations? Do you do any affirmations therapy or affirmations writing or affirmations speaking?
Not for myself at the present. Oh, yeah, I guess I do, without even thinking about it. And for my daughter, one of my daughters, I do.
Yeah. Well, basically, we're using affirmations all day long, but
Yes.
we're not slowing down enough to hear what we just said.
Mm.
And so affirmations are basically choosing your thoughts on purpose. Instead of repeating it over and over again like we did our whole life and noticing where that took us. So we can turn that around by using a positive idea and say it enough times so you don't get an emotional negative response, but it eventually will switch. And for example, if you told yourself 30 times, I, Donna, deserve love. I, Donna, deserve love. And your mind will go, are you kidding? No way.
Yeah.
Right? So this is how the mind functions. And what we do with the affirmations writing classes, and then we do affirmations at the retreat, is you write it 30 times, and whatever the response is, you write that down to the right of the sentence. You don't stop to edit it, judge it, do anything with it, just whatever comes out, right? And then you write that sentence again, emotional response. You write that, emotional response. And there's going to be a point where you no longer get a negative response and you're starting to get a positive response. I don't deserve love. Yeah, I do. I don't deserve love. I do. Yes. And when you said that enough times and it flips and it becomes a positive statement, you have now integrated it's true for you. And the people who won't do the affirmations work are resisting the power it gives them. So if there's an area you want to change, play with affirmations. If you go to this website, all right, self-promotion, here we go. If you go to my website, I have put about 3,000 or 4,000 affirmations on there. So it's everything from healing a condition to becoming a millionaire. So you might want to go on, they're free. Go play with those if you get a chance. Giving assignments, practices, bottom of 180, assignments, practices, and resources helps build a solid foundation to start and helps them to continue their practices for life. A good way for you both to stay present and on the same page, this is with affirmations, is to use audio or video recordings of every session. Remember, suggest recording the session as a way to give them the chance to give their permission or to refuse it. And this is, I found this is extremely helpful when I'm doing urine therapy consultations and we decide to use a format like Zoom. Then what can happen is the client can focus on doing the work and not writing notes. So you're not using your mind to distract you from going deeper into your programming, your belief systems, and you can do a deep dive and stay with it and clear it out. And then you can, if you decide that something was very valuable during the class or during the consultation, you have the recording to review it anytime you want. And that's why I mentioned in there, you can do an audio or video recording if that makes it easier for you or for the client. This will avoid distractions and allow the conversations to flow much easier. A teacher naturally takes notes or key points of what's being said. We'll also be writing down insights and the guidance as best as they can and still keep up with the conversation. Remind them you'll be sending them a link or a copy of the recording of the session, which held as confidential. And this is something as a therapist you learn to remind them that what we speak about in this session doesn't go anywhere other than between you and I. And some of them I have them recorded on Zoom, but we set the setting on Zoom so it's a private video and only they can watch it because only you and they have a link to the private video.
Okay. Yep.
Clients may on occasion give you permission to transcribe any non-personal information that can be used toward any new training material. Use sensitivity and discernment if or when you feel it's appropriate to challenge them in any way or call them out on their beliefs, issues, behaviors, or diet. Simply ask permission and then you can go for it. Now, some people feel it's a personal challenge if you call them on their stuff. So you got to be a little sensitive about that, particularly if you want them to work with you. Now, page 182. Near the close of every session, let them know that the time is almost up and ask if they have any closing remarks before we schedule our next session. Did you enjoy our session? Is what we'll ask them when it's all over. And this gives you an opportunity to review what your presentation and how you are as a teacher. If you get stuck, confused, scared, or concerned about your practices, changes occurring in the body, or if you're doing it correctly, let me know. A UT therapist often makes good friends with a client. This lets them know that they can reach out to you for support or feedback between sessions. Now, as a therapist who's been doing this for a lot of decades, I can remind you there's a really fine line between these are my clients and this is a friend. I mean, when you're working with personal boundaries, you remember to let them know, we're not going on hikes, going out to eat. We're not going to spend all that time together. You do your work. We're not building a friendship here. And I know it's tough for people because you guys get close. And I've had to draw the line with some of my clients. So let's go for a hike. Let's get to know each other. Let it up. And I got my inner circle of really close friends and Katie, and I don't want it. I don't need all that. Does that make any sense?
Mhm.
Thank you. Bottom of page 182. Listening, paying close attention to what is being said and what is not being said, lets you hear what's just beneath their words. Compassion is the art of feeling what they are feeling, as well as what you are feeling or picking up from their words, body language, and energy. Use of compassion will bring comfort and safety to a client. Number 2, having the discovery or aha or breakthrough known as the adjustment period that is often felt as it feels as if one is dying or breaking apart, but is in truth a mere shift of perception disguised as a breakthrough. Finally, after the integration stage, the client knows they're home by a feeling of wholeness, peace, or home to the real or authentic self. Page 184. Although most sessions average 60 to 75 minutes, you and the client will feel or know when the session is ended or choosing to continue until it is complete. Grab a notebook, take notes, write down what you can. These notes will give you clues in what's going on. You okay over there?
Oh, yes. She's biting. And I don't know.
Your pets are really needing you for some reason. Beyond just telling them to drink and apply Urine, last 2 paragraphs on page 184, your clients count on you for answers to tough health challenges, guidance, and relief from stress and concerns. Practice, practice, practice. After the session ends, review your notes. Use this time to replay the session in your mind and find corrections to be made in your teaching, listening, or coaching skills. Be sure to acknowledge the good work that your client is doing. Acknowledgement for your good work will come later. After learning these steps from guiding several clients through successful sessions, this will become second nature to you. The day will come when you will know confidently and with certainty that you give the perfect advice and treatment suggestions for every client. When working with clients, let them know that you will start the session or a consultation with an Urine toast or communion like we do in our classes as a way to honor their water, their journey, and allow spirit to guide the session. Any questions, comments, or feedback of what we went over today? Anything you need clarity on? That's a no. Meanwhile, Daniel is going in and out of dimensions there. I don't know what he's doing here. He's time jumping. Watch him go. So on page 185, there is a session I had with a gentleman out in India, and I'm not going to read it. And then there's followed by a female client. It took me a while to get used to the fact that the clients in India just kept wanting to call me sir. Because I understand it's a sign of respect, and I wanted them to have the option, call me Sage, brother Sage, whatever you want. But I couldn't shake them loose of it.
Yeah, that's especially here. Want to let them know that it's a military term.
Mhm. Right. And that's a sign of honoring your commander or your Marine sergeant.
Yeah.
So these are the sessions, and you can look them over when you get a chance. This guy was from India. The other client, where was she from? Oh, she was in the United States. She wanted to know about what if she's menstruating, can she use urine therapy? Other people have asked these kind of questions. And so you can see how I answered them, addressed their concerns, and went through the session with them.
And it's safe. Well, according to many women I've talked to as well.
Have you been coaching people?
Yeah, I've even before I this I think I've gotten around what?
No, sorry, Daniel. Go on.
Oh,
Right.
about 7+ people I've gotten over the years to try urine therapy.
And did they?
Yeah, they did.
And
What?
did you follow up on them, see if they're still okay?
Yeah. Most of them learned that social media wasn't so good for them afterwards, which is fine as well.
Well, good. There'll be more people coming into your life that you can share this with.
Yeah.
Those are practices.
And that purple thing is my rubber band I have over my camera when I don't want
Okay.
my energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to figure.
Appreciate
Laughing about.
That's the heads up. So we're going to go to chapter 15. Just going to look at my notes here really quick, guys. All right, here's a question for you. What is the advantage? Let's bookmark this. We're going to get out of the book for just a little bit. What is the advantage of drinking through the nose versus drinking through the mouth?
Drinking through the nose gets through all your, what do you call it?
Sinus cavities.
Yes, yeah, and up here, is that right?
Uh-huh.
And then down your throat.
Right. So
Yeah.
how is that an advantage or disadvantage over just drinking?
Well, it clears your sinuses. It can.
It reaches the areas. Now, when you drink, it goes to the torso and down into the stomach. So you're driving the nutrients up into the brain,
Yes.
sinuses, face, ears. So it's sending it directly to those regions of the body. Do you want to add anything to that, Daniel?
I was gonna second what she said, as well as activating the thymus glands and activating the brain and connecting the different was it not connections in the brain deeper, especially when you bless it with the intentions of what you want to activate as well as let go of. And the pineal gland.
Pineal gland, yeah. So there is an advantage.
Yeah, decalcify it. You last session you said calcify.
Well, I meant decalcify. If put it the opposite, I apologize.
It's all good.
It always gets confusing because they talk about, well, your brain has been calcified. Well, what's the opposite of that? Decalcify. So where's that question?
And with excess amounts of magnesium too also helps with that.
Right, and you got a good percentage inside your water.
And niacin, does niacin also help with that?
Niacin is help for the overall body. It's also in the water. Why do you think people have resistance to taking it through the nose?
because they sometimes have a gag reflex with things going through nose, like when they have soda or something, and then the bubbles go through the nose, they think that the same thing will happen, and sometimes they have a coughing
Right.
fit.
Yep. Yeah, some people think they're going to choke or block their breathing, whatever it is. And the biggest thing is everybody goes, it's weird. It's weird. Well, everything's weird if you've never tried something. It's outside of your thinking. So this is why people go, well, you say it's okay, I'll try it. How do you determine which protocols to use with a client? How do you come up with general treatment suggestions?
Intuition.
Intuition. Right. So that'll guide you without even having to open a book, which is great. So do this enough times so you can get really good at this. And people start coming up to you and they got this health and that health, and they're telling you their whole story. And you go, okay, well, this is what I suggest is drinking, body massage, belly button soak, foot soak, enemas, well, whatever it is. You get the general, you get the drift. You want to get the protocols that are generalized for everybody before you go specific. You got an allergy? Yeah, you want to take it up the nose and clear the mucus out of your diet. Then you can go further into the treatment suggestions without any fear about that. Let's see if I got another question for you guys. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Will you still be using urine therapy? And how will your health be any different?
Yes, and I will be just getting healthier all the time. And I'm hoping that I'll be in some sort of position to be helping a lot of people with health and spiritual growth and love for themselves. And yeah, that's what I see.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to talk to me about that sometime, I can find out what your future holds for you.
Okay, sounds good.
And this is what we're doing with Katie right now. We got someone building her website. She's about to open up a broadcast. She's going to start putting together shows under the title of The Golden Stream. And she's known by me and more people as The Golden.
Yes.
So yeah, you'll figure that out when you get to that point. Let's see. Page preparing for a session. Folks from India. I got to slow down. I'm almost running out of book here.
Yeah.
Funny. How to present your, this will go into what you were talking about, Donna, is how to become a professional. Now, I have been fortunate enough that I've been able to take the subject and turn it into a career and monetize it. And you're going to get a percentage of people who will criticize you and make sarcastic comments like, but urine is free. How can you charge for it? How do you think I would answer that?
Well, you're not charging for the urine, are you? You're charging for support and
education.
therapy, basically. Yeah, education, yes. Yeah.
Right. So the people who understand that on social media are the ones that are willing to work with you. The other ones who are just hecklers and giving you a hard time, they just want to, say stupid stuff. They don't appreciate the time, the energy, the expertise, the research and everything you did to know what you know. And so when I'm charging for consultations, the people who are willing to pay are the ones that get the value. So that's something you need to know no matter what career you're in, that you're sold on yourself, and the work and the what you offer to people is valuable. And we know P is free, but that's not the reason we do this. All right. Still concerned about your partner or parents disapprove. Let's see, where was I? I'm on page 194. I got about 12 minutes. Remind yourself that you got healthy and well because you drink the Urine. It is the water of life that saved your life and is keeping you vital, strong, and active. Still concerned about your partner or parents disapproving or judging you for drinking pee? Know that your radiant health, true happiness, and mental freedom is contagious. Walk your talk, teach by example. Let them see you being true to yourself and committed to your well-being. They will come around. Hang in there, guys. You earned your body, mind, and health back by reclaiming it. From every drop of shivambu that passed your lips, now go tell the world. Would you like to become a UT teacher, a therapist, or an author? What is the role of a teacher or a therapist? Would you like to become the next successful Urine therapy teacher or best-selling author? So a lot of people are moving in that direction. They feel the call, they felt their life change, they feel their health come back online, but they're really not sure how to go and present this to the world. And so I'm more than willing to consult with them because I've done it successfully for 5 years, and it's kind of like spread virally without me even doing much. So you may get to the point where people want to interview you, do talk shows, take your courses, study with you as a consultant. This is the future of where this is going. Would you like to become, I already read that part, we're on page 195. Differences between teaching, 10 minutes, between teaching and counseling are especially notable as related to the goal. Teaching is establishing a goal and giving information and possibly advice about a course of action. Ideally, the teacher conducts a needs assessment and identifies a learning gap or challenge and establishes a learning goal that bridges the gap. Counseling, on the other hand, is goal-oriented, but is different in a different way. Neither the counselor nor the client has an exact agenda or agreed upon goal. In most cases, the goal, quote, goal of the conversation goes beyond just making suggestions on how to practice the protocols, but the inclusion of health and wellness practices for mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. In other words, both client and counselor, during their initial consultation, assess their client's needs, use inquiry to gather basic information from various areas of their life, and decide if you are a good match or would make a good team to move forward working together. When you get to that point, this is when you call out your potential client. Do you feel like we could work together? Do you feel like we're a match? And those that took your words to heart and it really impacted them, you'll get a yes from them. So you don't have to spend time trying to sort them out. The universe has a way of doing it for us.
Yes.
Yay, high five. All right. So in short, the difference between teaching and counseling are 2 words. Oh, this is the role of the client, page 196. I think we might be able to finish this. A teacher leads the interaction. As an expert, they give information, a recommendation, or a course of action. A teacher helps a client achieve a skill, like mastering the protocols, or avoid a particular action, which is basically unhealthy choices. A counselor encourages a client to do most of the talking while the counselor listens, often taking notes during the consultation. These notes give clues, insights, and an understanding of the depth of a client's cause of their health conditions. But one thing you learn is when you're working with people who come to you and they're in all out panic mode. Their trauma is right there in their face. Their pain body has been activated. They're at a place of dire need and helplessness. Your job is to stay calm and steady like a 911 first responders and not be triggered by what they're saying. That's the difference between a good therapist and a really good therapist, because the ones that can sit there calmly, patiently while the person says what they have to say, shares their story, empties out all their emotional frustrations and struggles, whatever it is, and then you can start pointing them up in a positive direction so they can make changes. And that takes time, that takes learning. Now I'm self-taught. I didn't go to college. I mean, I went to college, but I didn't have formal training in human understanding and this kind of work. It's just a lot of trial and error, and worked with probably 40,000 clients during my career. So you learn how to read people. And if you're doing it organically and naturally anyway, then you already got the ability, which you seem to have, right? Yeah. Yeah, I can tell that about you. Same with Daniel. Okay. Instead of eating mucus-forming foods, page 196, instead of eating mucus-forming foods, acid, inflammatory, human-made foods, you'll suggest that they eat living foods, do fasting, take enemas, practice meditation. A counselor encourages the client to do most of the talking while the counselor listens, taking notes, giving clues. The counselor facilitates the sessions. They do not make a decision for the client. Do not fall into that trap. And most certainly, the counselor does not give advice, but rather makes general suggestions. The other reason you don't want to give advice, because they may unconsciously view you as a parent type, like a parent, and they might get triggered from that memory. So I learned from experience. You want to keep it neutral. Sometimes the client changes their mind on the course of action, and the counselor's responsibility is to support and assist them through this process. The roles are very different between teacher and counselor. A teacher's job is to talk and instruct while a client listens. A counselor listens, guides, and empowers the client. In short, the difference between teaching and counseling are the words: direction, facilitation. Teaching focuses on directing an action. Counseling focuses on facilitating decisions or next actions. Using inquiring methods, they are available in chapter 10. While coming to the closure or completion of every session, be sure to allow time for the client to express or communicate anything, especially if they are unclear about what was discussed and what to expect next. What's very frustrating is if you ever hear of sessions with therapists and they are constantly timing the session. Right? So they're focusing on something other than being present with their client and what the client is going through, which is a difficult time in their life, and they need you the most. And what are you looking at the clock for?
Oh, yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah.
It's very frustrating, and I've been that guy. So you've got to learn that your work is to pay attention, and the timing will time out perfectly. I mean, I find that way when I'm doing body work. If I'm looking at the time, I'm not in the muscle group that needs my attention or where they're locked up in their spine. And so when you just relax and let your intuition guide you, like for example, in body work, the timing always works out perfectly. An hour session is still an hour. A 90-minute session is still 90 minutes. And you're trying to figure out the timing doesn't help. I needed to hear that. I don't know if it helped you at all. It's funny how teaching and learning are always the same. Sometimes the client changes their mind. I already read that part, page 197. Ask the client if they want to schedule another session and go deeper into the healing work with you. This leads up to the follow-up. When you are both certain about doing more sessions, then reschedule them in the next 5 to 7 days. You do that so that it builds on what you just did before and they don't lose the momentum. In follow-ups, a a lot of the follow-ups are determined by you, because if you have a great session and people have a breakthrough and they understand some stuff, some people may want to use that as an excuse to not continue with you. Oh, I got what I came for. Thank you. You go and you barely touch the surface. But it's up to them to decide if they want to work with you again. When they do, God, I get really excited, because then we can really make some progress. This is the problem you get when you fall in love with your clients. They're great souls. I want to work with them, see if we can get. Katie's that way. I have to tell her, take less off your appointment book. She wants to mother the world. Every session is different and reveals something to the client that they may have missed in the previous sessions. Be sure to ask for referrals. Okay, we read that part. We're going to come back. The next class is going to be, and we'll come back to page 201. The next class is going to be on Saturday, the 14th. Is that what you got on your calendar?
So that'll be Sunday here. Yeah.
Right. So we're going to do a
So
Saturday.
Sunday and Monday.
Yeah. So Daniel, you know that?
The
Next
Oh.
two classes?
would be the 12th. What did you say?
The 13th, the 14th and 15th.
Okay. And that's on a Wednesday and
Nope.
okay.
Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
If you're not in Australia. So Donna and Daniel, I just put in the message, the meeting, the chat area. If you have a particular way you want your name written or spelled, send it to me by messenger and not through Zoom. Because when this is all over and we've done with everything, what I do is I just download the video, and haven't been saving the text part. So if you want to have it written up a certain way, you don't want it as mantra mindset or whatever, let me know. And if you don't want to be Daniel Lee P, let me know that too. If you want to be Donna Lewis, let me know.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Just looking this in.
Now, when the certificate is sent to you, it's going to be sent by email, and then you have the opportunity to either print it or save it.
All right.
Yeah, those are the dates, Daniel. Now the link is the same. I've been sending you the link to every class, but it's the same link.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let me double check.
So I'm just double check 15th and 16th for here.
Correct. Same time.
Okay. Yeah, 4 a.m. Yes.
Yeah. All right. I got you guys all on Messenger. So you can always send that by Messenger.
What are you drinking?
Who, me?
Donna.
I'm not telling you.
Oh, wait, hold
Is
on.
it
Let me.
coffee? I feel coffee.
Yeah.